So with that, I'm going to hand over to Marty Andrews, the CEO of Chargefox. Again, has led the charge to not to pardon the pun, but to in fact make it on EV charging, public charging in Australia. So with that, Marty, take it away.
Thanks, Christian, and hi everyone. This is a presentation that I first did about a year ago at the AU conference in Sydney. So it's nice to do an update on this to kind of see what's evolved over the past year. As Christian said, I'm the CEO and the founder of Chargefox. You can get us on various social media channels, and as you can see on the bottom there, so feel free to reach out and let us know your experiences or ask your questions, etc. I'll start here. So Chargefox is the largest EV charging network in Australia. You can see kind of a visual of the map there. That number there, 150,000 charging sessions. Last year at this time, we were only at 50,000, so we've done about 100,000 charging sessions in a year. It's great to see that kind of growth in terms of the number of charging sessions. That's a function of adding more plugs to the network, but also lots and lots more cars and electric vehicles coming out on the road as well, which is great to see. Not as fast as we would like, as Andrew mentioned, but certainly good. This is a sense of the scale of the network. So we manage over 1,600 plugs. One really kind of interesting piece here is that big red section down the bottom is all fleet and private charges. So fleet charges or back-to-base charges for businesses or apartment charges, etc. And that's about 900 of them. And there's probably about 650 that are public charges that are AC or fast or ultra-rapid charges that businesses have as well. That's grown quite significantly. Last year we were around about 1,000. So we've added roughly 5 plugs a week to the network over the past year, and that kind of continues today. That happens all the time. This is a view of what COVID looks like when it happens to a charging network. You can see that growth goes up right until March 2020, and then falls off a cliff in April when the nation went into lockdown. And we are today just getting back to the levels we were at March. This graph goes to the end of October. But also note, Victoria has just come out of lockdown. There's still some kind of restrictions on being at work, etc. So we really should have kind of followed that curve further up, and we're expecting it to kind of recover even more. So that's a sense of what the impact has been on the network. So we lost 75% of that traffic almost immediately. But still, we process 350 sessions a day. There's about 100 people charging right now. That's quite normal today. Someone plugs in roughly every 4 minutes to the network. So we're getting kind of good growth. This is a sense of when people charge their cars. So last year when I did this graph, there was a much more noticeable peak at about midday. And now it's hanging around right through to about 4 or 5 o'clock. So there's that kind of range, late morning or early afternoon, right through to early evening, which is when it's the most popular time for charging. Most of that is happening on the delivery sections there, the AC charges that are shopping centres, for example. Consistent use of fast and ultra-rapid charges through that time. It's a sense of and this is a sense of how long people are staying charged in for. So on AC charges, it's less than a couple of hours. It's kind of 2/3 or under 1 hour, and that gives you a sense of these are people who are likely at a council car park or a shopping centre, somewhere where they've left their car for a couple of hours to go and do some chores. So it's kind of what you'd expect for an AC charger. They can stick around a little bit longer. Take a look at that on a fast charger though, it's much shorter sessions. So 92% of those are under an hour. In fact, most of them are under 45 minutes. So it correlates pretty strongly with what Andrew was saying on these sessions as well. And ultra rapid chargers are almost identical. So once you get into the DC range, almost all 45 minutes and dominating under 93%. That's kind of long. Now, the most common question that I get asked in the industry, and I get this a lot from other industry players, is how long does it take to charge? I think that's the wrong question to ask, and here's the reason why. It's because Australian EV drivers overwhelmingly top up one particular. So you can debate whether you think that's in the right zone or not, but you can go from a home locator at a 64 kilowatt hour battery. 75% of that is roughly 45 kilowatt hours, so you kind of in the fill-up zone. So that's how I think petrol drivers fill up their cars. And there's much bigger batteries out there, 80, 100 kilowatt hour batteries. So yeah, overwhelmingly top-ups of 99% on AC. If you take a look at that on fast chargers, it's a very similar story. Overwhelmingly top-ups. A little bit more, just a few percent. Now, when we kind of built the network, we expected that this would be true, but we didn't expect it would be so strongly towards the top-ups rather than the fill-ups. Now, if we take a look at the ultra-rapid chargers, we do get slightly more fill-ups, which is kind of what you'd expect because they're plugged in for the same amount of time, but they're getting more power into the car, so it's hard to get that. So we still get that sense of overwhelming top-ups, but more people into the website. And I think that's just because they plug in, on our ultra-rapid sites, and it's probably true for other ultra-rapid sites around the country, they plug in, head into a shop to grab something to eat, go to the bathroom. You can't help but kind of get close to the block by the time you're around. All of these things are just giving us a sense of how the use of the network is changing over time. I see that I'm correlating pretty closely with Andrew's stats, so you can see those stats. Thank you. So to kind of recap that bit, afternoon charging, 12 to 5, lots of just charging while you stop. 1 hour long sessions is overwhelmingly common, although with AC charges, when you plug in, it comes up to 2 hours. Fast charges are overwhelmingly under 1 hour. And then these session sizes, they're almost top-ups. Occasionally, I just keep on to 2 more things that we're really proud of at Chargefox, which is some stats on a green record, I guess. At the end of 2019, we published a stat that we had powered about 1 million green kilometres across the network. And we do that by just kind of figuring out kilometres per kilowatt hour across average cars. And we know that our ultra-rapid chargers are powered completely by renewable energy. In fact, every ultra-rapid charger is in the country doing the same thing. So we know you're using completely renewables at that point. There are other chargers on the network that are also powered by renewables. So we can calculate the million Ks green kilometres last year. Just in the last 30 days, we've already powered 200,000 kilometres. So we're well on track to smash that record, which is something that we're really proud of. I convert that into tons of CO2 in October, that worked out with that 58 tons of CO2 that was emitted. So had those drivers been driving petrol vehicles and pumping carbon into the atmosphere, that would have been 58 tons of CO2 that was emitted, but that was avoided by use of EVs and our network. And this year so far, we're already up to 447 tons of CO2. It's a fantastic record, one we're really proud of, and see better in the future. So I hope that's given you a little bit of a sense of how EV drivers are using the network as a chargers. And let us know your experiences. Thank you.
Thanks, Marty. Just with a little bit of an apology there to the audience. The audio was very difficult to hear for you, Marty. So maybe have a bit of a fiddle with that for the Q&A, and just apologies to the delegates.